Shabbat Shalom everyone. Shabbat Parashat Vayetze. Parashat Vayetze is one of the parashiyot that deals mainly with Yaakov Avinu. Each one of the Avot has got a very special character, a very special personality. And we know that that personality, that's a lot of that, those are our fathers, those are our Avot. That means we created from them. There's something in that personality that's in us. And also we need to learn about that personality to understand how we should be, how the world should be, how we should be reacting to different things. Yaakov Avinu, the third of our Avot, has got a very complicated life. He's challenged from the beginning, from the pregnancy, him and Esav together already. That's a very hard pregnancy for Rivka, to a level that she says, well, why do I want to be pregnant after 20 years of being barren? She's, what's going on here? Then growing up together with Esav, and Esav going one way and Yaakov going another way, and having to buy off the Bechorah from Esav, and later on the blessings also, they don't come to him naturally, although it's clear that it says so at the beginning already in the prophecy that Rivka gets, that he's going to be the continuation of Avraham and Yitzchak. But in order to get the blessings, he has to deceive Yitzchak. And then he runs away and he goes to Lavan, and Lavan is trying to deceive him and trick him, and first with the marriage, then with his salary. And he comes back and has to meet Esav again, and it's war, and what's going to happen then with his children, and Shem and Dinah. The whole time Yaakov has got problems, and things are very, very complicated for him. The other person in the Tanakh that is similar is David HaMelech. These two are maybe the two people that are most outstanding in this area. But we see that you would expect sometimes people that the whole time they deal in with the competition and rivalry and stuff like that. It's got an impact on their personality. There's the people that the way they walk around and they look at the world is in a very either competitive way of seeing things, or if it goes to an extreme, then it already goes like Esav. He's a hunter. A hunter is someone that whatever he sees, he's looking for his opportunity. If he has to kill for that, if it's just entertainment, sometimes hunting is for entertainment, and you're just killing other animals for the fun of it, or being in front of other people just because you want to prove that you can do that. Sometimes it's because there's something you can gain out of it. Money, food, something else, but it's a personality. It's a personality. You need to be careful when you're with hunters. I don't know if you know that feeling. I remember a few times in the past I've had situations like that. You're speaking with people, you sometimes work with them, you're doing business with them, whatever you're doing, and you feel that you need to watch your words, because they the whole time trying to see what can happen that will give them an advantage upon you. What can they use in what you say? And it's a very uncomfortable feeling when you feel that you're around people like that. And Yaakov, although his life is very much like that, we see that he remains, Yaakov ishtam yoshev ohalim. He remains pure. How does that happen? So Rav Kook in Oרות, he teaches us a little bit about it in the section of Oרות called Oרות המלחמה. Lights of wars. Wars are clearly something bad. They're negative. People die there. But they're good elements that come out of it. Part of it is teaching us what kind of personality do you need to have in order to be able to deal with wars and still remain pure. So this is what Rav Kook writes in Oרות המלחמה, in the second chapter of Oרות המלחמה. He says like this, אנו מסתכלים בדורות הראשונים המסופרים בתורה, בנביאים ובכתובים. We look at these generations. Avraham had wars, Yitzchak had clashes, but on a lower level from Yaakov. Yaakov, his whole life is like that. David HaMelech, many other people. So we look at them. אותם הדורות שהיו עסוקים במלחמה. These generations that were very much involved in war. והם הגדולים שאנו מתייחסים אליהם בידידות וגדולת קודש. These are the same people that we see them in such a positive eye. They were holy people. They were special people. How does that work? Look around the world and you see that most of the people that are involved in wars throughout the whole world, they're tough, they're brutal. Sometimes you see that it's people looking for a legal way to take out all of their violence. So how come here it's so different? What's the difference? So Rav Kook says, "Hinenu mevinim." We understand שהזיק הנשמתי הוא היסוד. The core of everything, the base of everything, is what he calls zik nishmati. Zik nishmati means what is the neshama? What's the direction of the neshama? What sparks your neshama? What lights you? What are you about? What's your passion towards? Okay, that's the zika nishmati. And what is that? Well, Rav Kook's going to explain slightly more. It says, אותו מעמד העולם שהלך במרוצתו אז, the situation of the world in those days, a pagan world, a violent world. There's no morals. Everyone can do whatever they want to do. If you've got power, you go ahead and do it. No one's going to say that morally it's wrong. That's how the world was. You're stronger. You control. In many areas of the world, that's still the situation till today. Things, well, luckily, most of us, we live in environments which it is slightly different. But in those days, that's how it was throughout the whole world. And still today in many areas of the world. Because in those days, שהייתה המלחמה אז נחוצה בו, they needed wars. Okay, הוא גרם להופיע את אלה הנשמות. That's what created souls like that can go through the wars and stay pure. A lot of people, they just avoid wars and they remain pure. That's very easy. But for a nation to become nations, it's a nation that isn't ready for war. Well, we can imagine what would happen if we weren't ready for war in Israel. We just wouldn't be around here. So you need to have, Am Yisrael has to have people that are capable of going to war. On one hand, on the other hand, they're going to remain pure. And that's a big challenge. That's a very, very big challenge. How does that happen? So it says, that situation created souls like that, neshamot like that to appear. שהרגשתם הפנימית בתוכן שלם הייתה. The internal feeling was pure, was whole. Everything was intact. Why was that? מלחמת קיומם, they fight for survival, קיום האומה. It wasn't only their survival, it was already the survival of the nation. That's something else. It's not about me. It's about something greater than me. But even more than that, מלחמת השם הייתה בהכרה פנימית. They understand, they're fighting for the good to appear in the world. They're fighting for God's sake. Not that, okay, God is behind me and I can go massacre whoever I want. God is good. God is Tov Hashem Lakol. God is pure and good and created the world in order to do good. And for the good to appear in this world, there are a lot of challenges, there are a lot of blockades, a lot of rivalries we have to take care of, and they taking care of these things. Okay, so when they fight in, it's not about that. The whole survival is about God appearing. That's what their life is about. That's what they want to do. That's what they want to achieve. Okay, so that's מלחמת השם הייתה בהכרה פנימית. In turn, they didn't just say that to justify what they were doing. That is how they felt. That is what they had their passion about doing good, about caring, about being honest and pure. That's why it goes on to say, עזיזים היו ברוחם וידעו בעומק החושך לבחור בטוב ולסור מן הרע. They had a lot of power in their spirit, and they knew in the worst, deepest situations, out of cruelty and war and everything, how to choose the good and the moral, make the good and moral decisions. That's what it's about, even when things are very bad. There are a lot of stories like that of Jews throughout history, in the Holocaust and other situations, where with everything going on around, where the most natural thing to do would be just take care of yourself, people remained moral. That's how it is. That's how the IDF is built nowadays. Everything's clear. First of all, we are moral. We're making sure to be moral, to remain moral. That's what we fight in for morality. That's what it's all about. And here, Rav Kook, he quotes a pasuk from Tehillim, and he changes one letter. That makes it like the pasuk is saying one thing, but he wants to divert it in the direction of what he's saying. So he takes a pasuk from Tehillim that we all know, Gam ki elech begeit tzal mavet lo ira ra. Also, when I go in the valley of death, I won't be afraid. The pasuk says lo ira ra, means I won't be afraid of bad. The word ira in the pasuk is written Aleph Reish Yud Ain. Aleph Yud Reish Aleph. Okay, so it's written Aleph Yud Reish Aleph. Aleph Yud Reish Aleph means I won't fear bad. Rav Kook changes to Aleph Yud Reish Ain. Aleph Yud Reish Ain means I won't become bad. Okay, so Rav Kook says that's the main thing. Being afraid that I'll die, that's easy to avoid that. That's something we're not afraid of. But making sure I don't become bad, that is something else already. We know that former Prime Minister Golda Meir once said we can forgive the Arabs for everything apart from the fact that they turned us into occupiers. Because in her eyes and in the eyes of many other people, many people in Israel have that fear that whole time, that if we become occupiers, then we will act like the Germans and we'll be like Nazis and stuff like that, and they're terrified about that. And we see we've already been in Israel, and we've got other communities under our control. It's already, some of them already from the establishment of the state, nearly 75 years, some of them only 50-something years, and very, very rarely is there someone who cracks down and acts immorally. But in general, the whole time, we're trying to do things in the most moral and positive way, often exaggerating, or some people may sometimes maybe feel that we're exaggerating in one way and risking ourselves already too much for that. But if there's no risk for us, then no one's even speaking about it. Even the most, what people, they say, oh, these are violent people. It's only people saying, no, we can't risk ourselves for that. That's the only thing people are complaining about. But to go and harm someone, to attack someone for no reason, that doesn't happen. That's what happens throughout the whole world. Doesn't matter what country occupies anywhere else. People just enjoying the fact that they've got power. But here, we're not even close to that. We don't have that fear because Yaakov embedded that in us. Yaakov and David HaMelech later on, they embedded into us this quality, this special quality, that even when I go through this valley of darkness and death and everything, I will not become bad. Okay, it's in the Agada of Pesach, we say, Vayareu otanu HaMitzrim, say they turned, part of us, they managed to turn into bad people. That's the worst thing they did to us. That's the worst. When someone, he loses the Germans try to do it a lot. They spent a lot of time and mentally trying to force Jews, but making them live in impossible conditions so that at the end they would act immorally, and it didn't work. It didn't work. It freaked them out. It freaked the whole world out. The fact that even in those unbearable conditions, the Germans remained inhuman, whatever they were, the Nazis over there. But the Jews, with everything going on, the fight for life, remained the whole time taking care of each other and helping each other and respecting each other, keeping dignity and stuff like that. That's this very, very special quality that we received from Yaakov. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we see it now coming back to Am Yisrael. It was always in Am Yisrael, but only now that we also deal in much more with different energies of creating a nation again and building up when we need a military and everything. So now we see that quality coming through. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.